Hey there, welcome to my channel. My name is Sean, and in today's tutorial I'm going to be embroidering on this cosmetic bag that I got from Amazon. And I thought this was really cute. I needed another cosmetics bag for when we travel, and this was the perfect size. And I also like the purple stripes. And so as you can see, it's like huge. It has zippers that you can zip around from either side, and it has a large pocket in here on this side, and then on the opposite side it has 4 smaller pockets. But as you can see, there's plenty of space in there. And so I was like, I'm getting it and I'm customizing it. So I'm gonna go ahead first and start off by measuring. But before I do that, I'll go over the supplies you'll need. Now, I'll be doing this on my Ricoma 20 needle embroidery machine. I already have my design loaded. It is a monogram. And I'll be using the 5x5 mighty hoop and a piece of tearaway stabilizer. I do also have some erasable or some heat erasable pens, or you could use Taylor's chalk or whatever you like to mark your fabric or your placement with. I also have some stickers that I like to use so I can mark, one just fell off, mark my center point, and then I do have some tape here. All right, so I'm gonna start off first. Let me grab a marker. And with these, so all you would have to do for the ink to disappear, you would just either use, I use my heat gun and I just run it over there for a few seconds and it's gone. A heat press, an iron, anything like that, and it just disappears. So I really like these over the Taylor's chalk. And so what I'm gonna do is go ahead and measure from left to right so I could get the length. And we are at 11.5. All right, and then from top to bottom, we are at 6.5. So let me see if I can do math in my head really quick. So 11.5 would be about 5 3/4, I believe. So that's what I'm going with. That's what I'm sticking with. So let me just mark that right where it needs to be. All right. And then I'm gonna go ahead and use that mark that I put here on the bag. And then 6.5 is going to be about 3.25, I believe. So let me mark that, which will be right there. But I do want my monogram higher towards the top. So I have my center points marked, but I want it higher up. So what I'm then going to do is kind of eyeball it when I'm putting my sticker on there. Now you can definitely mark it if you're more comfortable doing it that way. So I'm gonna just grab one of my stickers, and I'm also gonna kind of open it up so I can see where the top of the bag is, and I want it a little bit higher, about right there. And I'm just making sure it looks good, looks even, and so that's where we're at. All right, and so I am going to be using the 5x5 mighty hoop without my 5x5 fixture. So I don't want to embroider on the pocket. I don't want to embroider it shut. Now it is for me. If I had to, it wouldn't be a big deal, but I don't want to embroider the pocket shut. So I'm just using the 5x5 hoop by itself because it slides in there perfectly, versus when I try to use the 5x5 fixture, it is too tight and it won't go in there. So that is why I'm doing it this way. And so let me first get my bottom half of the hoop and make sure I have this in the right direction. All right, yeah, that is the way I need it to go. And then I'll go ahead and put in my stabilizer. And I may actually have to trim this down, so let me grab a pair of scissors. Here we go. Trying to find a different pair of scissors, but hey, these will do. So I'm gonna just cut this down just a little bit. And now I'm gonna slide it in here, and that fits much, much better. And I just wanna make sure it's all the way in there, and it is now. All right, so we have everything in there. And it did slide a little bit, so I'm just moving it, making sure that it is tight in here. All right. Okay, so that is exactly where I want it. And then I just want to make sure that I have my end the correct way. All right, and there. And so now it is hooped and ready to go. Now I still may move it up a little bit more once I get to the machine. Once I do my trace, I'll know exactly where I need to have it to make sure that it doesn't stitch up too high, but it stitches where I want it to. So let's go ahead and get this onto the machine, and then we'll let her stitch out so I can show you the finished result. So let's go ahead and get our design on here. I'm just gonna get that lined up and locked into place. And now I'm going to go ahead and do a trace so I'll know which I kind of already feel like I'm gonna have to move it up. But let's go ahead and do that trace and let's see. So actually it looks pretty good. Maybe I can go, should I go up a little bit more? Let's see. And then I'm gonna do another trace. Okay, so I think that would be perfect. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove my sticker, and then I do just want to double check and make sure that it's not going to hit this stitching here. So let me just hold this down while I trace. Okay, so yeah, that's good. So then I'm gonna go ahead and take my sticker off, and then I'll go ahead and let her start stitching out, and I'll be back in about 8 minutes, 9 minutes when this is finished stitching out. All right, so our design is done. So let me go ahead and grab that off, and that is looking really cute. Now I did do it in a white. I was gonna do it in a dark purple, but I just decided to go with white. So then I'm gonna go ahead and remove my 5x5 mighty hoop and set that to the side. Those magnets are no joke, so you be careful if you have those. If you're getting those, be careful with those hoops. All right, and so I do have some marker on there from where I was marking my center point. So I'm gonna just plug in my heat gun. This is a Black & Decker heat gun. I actually got this from Walmart years ago, but I'll link some similar ones in the description box for you in case you're interested in getting one. All right, and I'm gonna just use the low setting, and I'm gonna just run it over there, and that's all it takes. And it's gone. So that is why I love those pins, and they come in a variety of colors. So there's red, there's navy blue, there's white. Even though this is blue, there's white in here, and it has refills. So these are just the little refills that go inside of there. So I love these. I've been using these for years and have no regrets. Now back to our bag. Let's get this cleaned up. And actually, wait, I see another spot. So let me just get that. Okay, now we're good. Now there's nothing there. And of course, I'm gonna go ahead and rip away my stabilizer, get this cleaned up. And I'm gonna just use some tweezers. so I can get in between here, the little pieces in between the letters, and just get that removed, get that cleaned up so it looks good. And this is a great project for yourself as a gift idea. And I know some people that are actually selling personalized cosmetic bags, and they are doing really, really good with their sales. So that's also another avenue that you can explore with these bags as well. And so you can cut the threads. I'm just going to use my lighter, and it's just right at the bottom, and get rid of that. And as you see, my pocket is still intact. It didn't get stitched together, and that is why I wanted the image to be moved closer to the top. And so this is how our bag is looking. Let me zip her up. I probably should have stuffed it with something so we could see it full, but this will do. And so this is how the bag turned out. I think that turned out really cute, a little personalization. I do need to run my iron over this just to flatten it all out, but that little bit of puckering there, also how I hooped it too. I didn't hoop it tight enough, but once I press that, then that puckering will be gone. But if you do have any questions, let me know below in the comments. I'll have all the supplies linked below, as well as Ricoma if you're interested and want to get more information on their embroidery machines. They have all sizes, 10 needles, 15 needles, 20 needles, as well as Mighty Hoops. If you have a multi-needle machine, you gotta have Mighty Hoops. These are just like the best things since sliced bread. So, and I'll have the heat gun and as well as the bag all linked below for you. And also, if you do have a multi-needle machine, this here ratchet set, you need one of these. It makes it so easy switching out your brackets. You don't have to use that Allen key, and they have all the sizes that you need for all the areas that you need to loosen or move around on your machine. And so I just kind of keep the main ones, the flat brackets and the hat brackets, the ones that I use the most. I just put a little post-it note up here so I know which ones to grab, pop it in there, and then unscrew my brackets. And I do have a short that I did showing how to use this. I'll make sure to link that as well in the description box for you. But until next time, thank you so much for watching today's tutorial, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye, y'all.